Hello everyone, my name is Alex and welcome back to Sacred Stance Podcast, where I give my sacred stance on anything and everything stand-up paddleboarding as well as personal and lifestyle. How are we doing this week? It is the very first day of February, which is crazy. It's crazy that a month has already passed. That's insane. And the fact that it is the new month, I wanted to do a little fun video where I went over my January goals, what I did, what I learned, some fun things, some lessons, all the above, and I encourage you to do the same thing, because if we set goals for ourselves every year on a monthly or even weekly basis, it is really hard to figure out how much we've improved. So you can start right now or just go over your goals that you set in the New Year's and just figure out what worked for you, what didn't work for you, what you have to change, so we can all be successful this year. But before we start, I'll give a little update as to what I've been doing. I just got my hair cut. I feel fresh. So that looks really nice and I'm happy. I'm also getting a tan and it's so fun that I'm getting a tan. You have no idea. I've been working a lot at my jobs. I'm going to stop saying that, honestly, because I keep on saying it. But yeah, I've been doing pretty good at my jobs. I have 3 jobs right now, which is insane. But they're all like small amounts of times throughout the week, so it doesn't amount to anything crazy. Also, the past 2 days, I've been training with Subdoc and Christian Anderson, which is very, very fun. And they've been kicking my ass for sure. They are very, very strong, and it's hard to keep up with them, but it's definitely encouraging to try to reach them when it comes to paddling. I also got to surf waves with them yesterday, I think, and I'll say it again here. It is very fun to train with them. Okay, for this episode, we're going to go in a specific order. I'm first going to talk about the summary of my goals. I'm going to talk about some achievements of mine. I'm going to talk about some lessons that I learned, then also some hopes for February. So when it comes to my goals, I wrote them all down, and I had a little journal. It's a digital journal, so it's just on my iPad. But what I did is that I put little calendars and I put little goals on the bottom, like the things that I wanted to do, whether that be paddling, gym, journaling, any of these things. And so every time I successfully did those, I would mark it with color on the little calendar. So my goal was to fill out the entire calendar with color. And so it also gave me a visual representation of what I've been working on and how successful I've been in the past month. And then at the end of the month, so yesterday, what I did is that I learned this like a few days ago, but I was able to successfully use what I was already doing for this thing. It's based off of what you learn in the book called The 12-Week Year. And so, oh my God, I just gotta be real. 1 second. Look how cute. Okay, sorry. Back to it. What was I talking about? Okay, it's this thing that is taught in the book, The 12-Week Year. It's in the name, like your year, instead of it being 52 weeks, it is 12 weeks. And with using that, you prioritize your goals a lot more. Instead of feeling you have 52 weeks to complete stuff, you have 12 weeks to complete stuff. So you end up getting a lot more done. I am going to read it eventually, but what I'm talking about is that I was listening about it in a video and they brought this up, and what the book mentions is that when you are working on achievements or like you have goals or lists or so, like anything really, you want to, at the end of the week or the month or the year, you want to track like the percentage of completion, if that makes sense. So what I ended up doing is that I would look at how many times I would do a certain thing, and then out of the month I would get the percentage, and that was essentially my like percentage of completion. So if my goal was to do something like 12 times a month, that was specifically with my knee exercises. I needed to do them 3 times a week, so in total that amounted to 12 times. I would do the amount that I actually did divided by 12, and or however you get percentages. And I would get the percentage of completion. So just for this example, I did 6 out of 12 times, and so that was a 50% completion. And what I went through all of the things that I did and got the percentages, and then I added all of them up for like the average completion. The book says that you really want to strive for 85% on average, 85% on everything. That's a good place to try to reach and all that stuff. So when I did that and I tried to get the average of all of the things that I did, I averaged 60%. And while it's above 50%, it's not 85. And so that really made me realize how little I was actually achieving the goals that I had set for myself. I noticed that a big thing that I struggled with was paddling. Go figure. It was really hard for me to get out in the water. I prefer to just stay home and drink some coffee and have a little bit of me time before the day starts. And unfortunately, that ended up costing me an entire month of preparation for the rest of the year. And I was really excited for when Subdoc came to train with him, but he's not here in Sayulita, he's in Punta Mita, and so I'd have to drive over there every morning, and I don't know how to drive. So I can't take myself. One of my parents have to go and take me with them. And I did go the past 2 days just because my parents were willing to drive me, but I'm not going to be able to go every day. So being motivated to stay with Christian and Dan when paddling with them is really nice. And I also feel motivated to now work on my own independently on the water and outside the water. And I really think that I can do a good amount of training in this month leading up to the race. But yeah, that was a big thing that I could tell that I was struggling with. And I'm not going to talk about the percentages of everything. But that's something I need to work on. I did go to the gym a lot, but I wasn't as consistent, and I would make an excuse to not go to paddle. Instead, I would go to the gym. Essentially, going to the gym was because I didn't want to paddle. When that's nice, that's okay. Like, I'm still getting exercise, but I really need a paddle. Like, one, I really need a paddle, and two, I need a paddle and go to the gym. I can't just go to the gym. So that was another thing that I kind of lacked in. I had a goal to drink a certain amount of water each day, and I did do a good chunk of that. I did do pretty good throughout the month, but I can do better. So it's definitely something I have to work on. The biggest successes of this month was posting my podcast and Instagram posts. I had a goal to post 4 Instagram posts this month and then 4 podcast episodes this month. And that's a really big thing I want to be consistent with, and I'm continuing to be consistent with it. I've made sure to post a podcast episode every week, and I think that's really, really good for me. It keeps me accountable. It's good for me, and I'm glad that I've been consistent with it. I know I haven't really been, I've been doing it for like a month and a half, I think, and it's good because usually projects like mine don't really last that long. So I had screen time limitations for myself. I wanted to go under 5 hours every day. I know that's a lot, but I was a unemployed, didn't go to school, just train in the mornings and the afternoon type of person. So I had the entire day free. So getting under 5 hours is definitely hard. And now that I'm actually doing stuff, I have been going under 5 hours, but it's definitely something that I have to work on. I also got a Kindle, so that's really fun. So I've been reading instead of going on my phone. I had a goal to do like French classes, and I completely failed to do that. So that's something I have to really be determined with in the upcoming month. And then when it came to journaling, that was the closest I had reached to 85%. I reached 80%, and that just means that I have to do it every day, and I have to actually reach that 85%. But yeah, journaling was the best one out of all of them, and I'm happy about that. Honestly, I'm pretty happy about that. Okay, let's go into some of my achievements of the month. Biggest thing is that I am employed. Oh my god. It's very difficult to find jobs that work my schedule and also with my citizenship status. So finding not only 1 but 3 jobs that I can work at and I'm learning stuff and it doesn't take up that much of my time, it's really, really nice. Another thing is that I feel really strong paddling with Subdoc and Christian. I've only paddled with them 3 times so far, but each time I've been able to not keep up with them, but I'm not dying, and I can tell that I'm slowly getting stronger, and I'm also working more on my technique because I can see other people that have good technique and I can just kind of try to work on it myself. I don't think I've paddled this much and this strong in this long in training sessions before, so it's definitely a new experience, and I hope to be consistent with it in the next month, and who knows what's gonna happen. Another big thing is that I kept up with my self-care. I'm really happy about that, because it's the little things that count when it comes to taking care of yourself, and it's definitely a big priority because it's very common for me to let loose when it comes to that stuff, and then my mental health worsens because of it. Making sure that I am being myself, taking care of myself, it makes me feel really good, and it makes me feel confident and strong, and yeah. That's it. Another big achievement is that I did not buy any new material objects. That's a really, really big goal for myself this year, is that I really want to limit the amount of material objects that are entering my life. And if I do receive material objects, I preferably would want it to be secondhand. And so I've been keeping track of the objects that I've been getting or receiving in this past month, and I only received 3 new items, and 2 of them were gifts, and they were used gifts. It was just someone that no longer was using something, so I took it. And then the main thing that I actually bought that I mentioned before was my Kindle. And I wanted a Kindle because I wanted to start reading, but I also did not want to buy books because of the amount of paper that I would have been purchasing and consuming. And also, there's no good libraries here or secondhand bookshops here, so I was kind of stumped and I couldn't really reach any books. And so I decided to get a Kindle, and I got a used Kindle. And that doesn't seem like anything crazy, but it is such a big achievement for myself because it proves to myself that I can get secondhand stuff, and that if I prioritize getting secondhand items, it just feels so much better, and I save money and I help the environment, and it just makes me so happy. So I'm so excited that the one item that I bought was secondhand. I did spend a good chunk of money this month, unfortunately, but a lot of it was either transportation, food, or experiences, so I'm not too bummed about spending a lot of money. A good chunk of that money went to the Kindle, but it also went to going on a boat with some girlfriends of mine, and we got to whale watch, and it was very fun, and I wouldn't have traded that for anything else. My mom also has a online library card for ebooks, so what I've been doing is I've just been hopping on the wait list for some of these books, so I'll be getting some of them for free too. I won't have to buy everything on my Kindle. Everything is fun. I'm so excited for my Kindle. Okay, now let's go into some lessons that I learned this month. Looking back at my percentages, I wasn't planning on doing this. I only found out about this a few days ago. Had I not done this, I wouldn't have realized how much I needed to improve on my goals and everything. So that was the big lesson, how much I slacked this month. Another thing is that I've learned how to kind of manage my schedule. There was a big chunk of January where a lot of my jobs and opportunities were very, very iffy. And so I couldn't really organize and schedule my time for it to be super fulfilling, if that makes sense. I couldn't be productive because I didn't know what I was going to be doing. I could have been called to random places at random times. It was just crazy. But now everything is becoming more steady, and so I'm finally working with a schedule that works for me and that I can monitor so I can use my free time better. I also learned more about my nutrition. So when I was with a nutritionist, I was working with him because I wanted to lose weight, and what he had me do was to eat very little amount of carbs and fats. And so nowadays, even though I'm no longer working with him, I've still brought that mentality to what I've been doing, and I've been terrified of avocado and wheat bread, and it's I learned that I should not be afraid of those things, and they can help me a lot. So I've been trying to consume more fats, more healthy fats. So yeah, big leaps happened when it came to my nutrition this month. And I also learned that I desperately need to pre-record my podcast episodes. I've been consistent with posting, but it's very hard to immediately record, edit, and post the same day. That's what I'm doing today. And this is not sustainable whatsoever. So I've learned that I need to pre-record episodes. Am I actually acting on it? No. But at least I know, right? Lastly, I'm going to talk about some hopes for February. Again, looking at my percentages, I am very, very motivated to keep them up and ending February with a higher percentage than 60%. So yeah, I'm very, very excited for that. And that specifically includes like gym and paddling, especially with the race coming up. I really have to prioritize those things. I also now hope to improve my percentage when it comes to staying off my phone, especially now that I have my Kindle. I've been prioritizing using my Kindle over my phone, and it's helped a lot even these past few days. So I hope to continue with it and to stay off my phone, because it also helps with my mind and also the longevity of the device. And lastly, I'm going to continue to drink water, and I'm going to journal, and I'm also going to get on track when it comes to learning French, because I really dropped the ball when it came to learning French in January. So that's definitely a really big priority. And also I want to spend a lot less money this month. I don't spend like an adult. Like, I don't have to pay for like rent or utilities or anything like that. But what I do earn and what I do spend, I like to prioritize it for important things. And I noticed that a lot of my monthly payments, like my phone plan, my gym membership, a lot of those were taking a lot of money away from me. So I've dumbed down the amount of money that I have to pay monthly for all those things. And then also I'm not going to be paying for a Kindle and like other things. So, okay, I think that is all for this week, this episode, this video. I really hope it put into perspective how I work with managing my goals and expectations for myself, and I really hope that this motivated you to do something similar, just because it has helped me so much. And even looking at my percentages and even talking about it's made me realize how much I need to prioritize certain things. Thank you so much for watching. If you have a second, I would love for you to rate the podcast on Apple Music or Spotify, or if you're on YouTube, you can like the video or subscribe or even comment. Let me know if there's any ideas or topics that you'd like me to discuss. I am an open book, and I would love to talk about things that people find interesting. Okay, that is all for today. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll catch you next time. Bye.